To keep these audio summaries free, please support the site by visiting one or more of the links shown. Thanks.
Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. The old Admiral Benbow Inn stood lonely on the English coast, its sign creaking in the wind. Young Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents, helping his ailing father tend the place. One bitter winter day, a rugged, scarred seaman trudged up with a heavy sea chest on a barrel. He was tall, strong, nut-brown from the sun, with a saber cut across one cheek and a tarry pigtail. He demanded rum, whistled to himself, and broke into the song, 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. He called himself the captain, paid in gold, and settled in for a long stay. He hung about the cove with a brass telescope, or sat by the fire drinking strong rum and water, silent except for occasional terrifying tales of piracy, hanging, and storms at sea. The captain charged Jim a silver 4-penny each month to watch for the seafaring man with one leg. The boy feared that one-legged sailor more than anything. The captain's presence frightened guests away, hurting business, and Jim's father grew weaker. One frosty January morning, a pale stranger with 2 fingers missing arrived, inquiring for the captain. When Billy Bones, his true name, returned from the beach, the stranger revealed himself as Black Dog, an old shipmate. They argued fiercely over rum and old grievances, then drew cutlasses. Black Dog fled wounded, and Bones collapsed in a stroke. Dr. Livesey, attending Jim's father, bled the captain and warned him to stop drinking or die. Bones recovered slowly but remained shaken. Soon after, Jim's father passed away quietly. That same night, a blind beggar named Pew tapped his way to the inn with a stick. Terrified, Jim led him in. Pew thrust a black spot, a summons from Pyrates, into Bones's hand. Bones read it, gasped that he had till 10 o'clock, and fell dead of apoplexy. Fearing the pirates would return for Bones's sea chest, Jim and his mother crept back to the inn after dark. They found the black spot and opened the chest with the key from around Bones's neck. Inside lay clothes, a quadrant, pistols, silver, and an oilskin packet. They took the packet and some coins just as footsteps approached. Hiding under a bridge, they watched Pew and his gang ransack the inn, smash furniture, and discover Bones dead. Revenue officers led by Mr. Dance arrived on horseback, scattering the pirates. Blind Pew was trampled by a horse and died cursing. Jim gave the oilskin packet to Dr. Livesey. At Livesey's house, with wealthy Squire Trelawney, they examined it. A logbook of Flint's plundered ships, and a map marking Treasure Island with latitude and longitude hidden, red crosses showing buried treasure, and notes, tall tree, spyglass shoulder, bearing a point to the north of north-northeast. Skeleton Island east-southeast by east, and bulk of treasure here, declared they would fit out a ship to recover the fortune. Livesey cautioned secrecy, fearing Flint's old crew. Trelawney went to Bristol, bought the schooner Hispaniola cheaply, and hired a one-legged former sea cook named Long John Silver to assemble the crew. Silver ran the Spyglass Tavern and seemed honest, brave, and intelligent. Jim met him and liked him instantly. Silver's parent, Captain Flint, squawked, "Pieces of 8." Captain Alexander Smollett, a strict professional, took command but distrusted the crew from the start. He insisted powder and arms be moved, officers' berths given to Trelawney's servants, Redruth, Joyce, Hunter, and secrecy maintained. Trelawney resented the captain's suspicion, but complied. The Hispaniola sailed with Jim as cabin boy. The crew sang pirate songs while raising anchor. Mate Mr. Arrow drank heavily and vanished overboard one stormy night. Silver proved cheerful and capable, winning Jim's trust. One evening, Jim climbed into an apple barrel for an apple and fell asleep. He awoke to voices. Silver recruiting a young seaman, Dick, into mutiny. Silver revealed the crew were mostly Flint's old pirates, planning to seize the treasure, kill the loyal men, and spare none. Jim's heart pounded as he learned the plot. When the island was sighted, 3 hills rising from gray woods, he slipped out and told Livesey, Trelawney, and Smollett everything. They realized only a handful remained loyal against 19 mutineers. They decided to proceed carefully, keeping watch. The Hispaniola anchored in a landlocked harbor behind Skeleton Island. The air smelled of fever. Silver led a shore party. Jim sneaked ashore too. In the jungle, he overheard Silver urging Tom Redruth's namesake, an honest sailor, to join the mutiny. Tom refused. Silver murdered him with his crutch and knife. Jim fled in horror and met Ben Gunn, a marooned pirate abandoned 3 years earlier. Gunn, ragged and half-mad from loneliness, but clever, had been Flint's man. He craved cheese and offered alliance. He knew where Flint buried the treasure after Flint killed 6 accomplices and would help the squire for £1,000 and passage home. Cannon fire echoed. The mutineers had attacked. Jim ran toward the sound. The loyal party had landed earlier and fortified an abandoned stockade with a spring inside. They defended against the assault. Redruth died from a shot. They buried him under the Union Jack. The mutineers retreated after losses. Jim reached the stockade safely. Silver approached under a truce flag, now calling himself captain. He demanded the map for safe passage off the island, or threatened attack. Smollett refused firmly. Silver left raging. The next day the mutineers attacked fiercely. They scaled the stockade. Fighting raged hand to hand. Loyalists killed several, including Job Anderson. Mutineers lost others. The captain was wounded in shoulder and leg. Hunter and Joyce died. Odds shifted to 4 loyal men against 9 pirates. Jim, disgusted by the bloodshed, slipped out at night seeking Ben Gunn's help. He found Gunn's coracle, a skin boat, and paddled to the Hispaniola at ebb tide. He cut the anchor cable, letting the ship drift. Israel Hands and another pirate quarreled drunkenly aboard. Hands killed the other. Jim boarded secretly. Hands, wounded, offered to beach the ship in North Inlet if Jim helped. Jim agreed warily. Hands tried to kill Jim with a dirk. Jim shot him dead after a desperate chase up the shrouds. He beached the Hispaniola, dumped the bodies, and trekked back through the woods. At the stockade, he found the pirates in possession. Silver, 5 others, the parrots squawking. They had taken the place after the doctor traded the map for a truce, believing the ship gone and mutineers doomed. Silver welcomed Jim slyly, claiming the loyalists abandoned him. Jim boldly revealed he had overheard the mutiny, cut the ship adrift, and killed Hands. The pirates wanted to kill him. Silver protected him, bargaining alliance. Jim saved Silver from the gallows. Silver saved Jim. The pirates gave Silver the black spot again, deposing him. Silver turned it aside cleverly, regaining command by producing the map, traded by Livesey, and promising riches. Next morning, Livesey arrived under truce to treat the sick pirates. He warned Silver the treasure was gone and trouble awaited. Silver, with Jim as hostage, led the remaining pirates inland with picks and the map. They followed clues to a tall tree on Spyglass Shoulder. A skeleton pointed the way. Flint's grim joke. Ben Gunn's voice echoed Flint's dying words from the trees, terrifying the superstitious pirates. They reached the cache, the pit empty. Gunn had dug up the bulk years earlier and hidden it in his cave. The pirates turned on Silver in fury. Livesey, Smollett, wounded but recovering, Trelawney, Gray, a loyal mutineer who switched sides, and Gunn ambushed them. Most pirates died or fled. Silver surrendered. The loyal party loaded the treasure onto the Hispaniola and sailed. At a Spanish-American port, Silver slipped ashore with a sack of coins and vanished. They returned to Bristol, divided the fortune. Jim kept his share, but swore never to return to the accursed island, where some treasure still lies buried.
To keep these audio summaries free, please support the site by visiting one or more of the links shown. Thanks.